why are we talking about this? Because Jesus proved his love. He proved it. When did he prove it? Did he prove it just by healing the sick? No, but yeah, that's a good example. But whenever they put him on that cross, when they tied him to that whipping post, he proved his love. He didn't just talk, he walked. Amen? He walked the walk. He didn't just go, oh, I love you. Oh, everybody be in peace and love. Just be, good hippie. Just peace and love, And he didn't do that. He said, no, if you see your brother in need, you meet the need. If you don't meet the need, you don't love your brother. You say, well, that sounds pretty harsh. I mean, that's it. Well, that's what James said. James said, if you see your brother in need, and all you say is be warmed, be filled, and you go your way, he says you don't have any faith, and if you don't have faith, you don't have love. Isn't that simple? So he says, well, what do we have to do? He said, you tell me you have faith, I show you my faith. Okay, these three remain. Faith, hope, and love. Is that right? Those three. What does that mean? Those three all have the same essence. And that essence is very simple. The essence of love is action. It is an action. We know this because you can even go to the bookstore and find the 5 love languages. Now see, this is where part of the problem comes in. It's because some people, everybody's got a different love language for the most part. They say there's about 5. I don't know. Could be more. I don't know. I'm not, I don't know. I know there's, actually about 6 words in the Bible for love that we hardly ever use more than 2, sometimes 3. But this idea that, see, I have looked at this. I've gone through it, and you have what they say is a primary love language and a secondary love language, right? And my primary love language is acts of service. That's my primary. You need something, you need help. If I'm at all able, I'll get it done. That goes all the way from feeding you or helping in some way to healing the sick. That's why, because I'm empowered to do that now. And so to know to do good and doeth it not, to him is sin. So I don't do that, so I help. And that's my primary love language, is acts of service. Now, my secondary, I know different people probably just say different things, but I also see it as really more as long lines of words of encouragement and that kind of stuff, even though I know I don't always sound encouraging to some people. But now here's the point. How you feel has nothing to do with my love. Because if your love language is something else, then I could be walking in love the way I know to love, and you wouldn't feel loved. Why? Because that's not your primary love language, or even your secondary maybe. And you would think, well, I'd really rather, Curry did this, but I'd really rather he do that. Well, then you have to tell me, because I don't know your love language unless I know you well enough to know it. And then I might be able to do that. Does this make sense to you? So, but people say these things, but many times they'll say, well, I don't feel love. Why? Because I'm loving you with my love language, but you may not receive it as love because that's not your love language, man. And so all of these things have to work together. But the problem is when people say certain things like this, what they're actually saying is my feelings. I don't feel like I'm being loved, right? Well, what you feel like has nothing to do with the reality of whether you're being loved or not, right? When you used to, I know, I'm only talking to probably some of the congregation here, the ones that are old enough to actually remember this thing that used to be called spanking, okay?